Mark Antony versus Octavian was not a romance. It was a cold war for power where love became a weakness. After Julius Caesar was murdered, Rome did not return to the Republic. It fell into a vacuum that pulled ambitious men like gravity. Caesar's killers thought they had saved liberty, but they had only removed a lid from a boiling pot. Into that chaos stepped two very different heirs. Mark Antony was Caesar's loyal general, a battlefield man with charisma and nerve. Octavian was Caesar's adopted son, young, quiet, and underestimated, but built for patience and control. At first, neither could rule alone, so Rome became a stage for alliances that were really weapons. Antony used Caesar's funeral to turn grief into fury and push the crowd against the conspirators. Octavian arrived later, claiming Caesar's name as a shield and Caesar's inheritance as fuel. The city watched a teenager challenge veterans, and many laughed until they stopped laughing. Antony and Octavian briefly joined forces, not because they trusted each other, but because they needed to destroy common enemies first. They formed the Second Triumvirate with Lepidus, and unlike earlier coalitions, this one was legal and ruthless. They published proscriptions, lists of men to be killed and robbed, and Rome learned how quickly law can become legalized murder. Even Cicero, the voice of the old republic, was hunted down and executed, a warning that words were no longer protection. Brutus and Cassius raised armies in the east, claiming they were fighting for liberty. At Philippi, Antony and Octavian defeated them, and the dream of restoring the old republic died with the last retreat. Now the winners divided the world like loot. Octavian took the west, including Italy, where veterans needed land and the people demanded stability. Antony took the east, where wealth, kings, and complex politics could either empower him or poison him. Lepidus received Africa, but his role was already shrinking, because real power does not like three owners. Antony went east to secure money and armies, and that road led him to Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not a passive queen waiting for romance. She was a ruler fighting to keep Egypt alive in a Roman world. She understood that Rome's civil wars could either destroy her kingdom or make it essential. Antony summoned her expecting a client monarch, but she arrived as a player. She used spectacle and confidence to control the first impression, because in politics, perception becomes reality. Antony needed ships, gold, and supplies, and Cleopatra could provide them faster than Rome's tired institutions. Cleopatra needed protection and legitimacy, and Antony could offer both if he won the Roman game. Their alliance became personal, but it was always political, because love in their world was often a contract. Antony increasingly built his power base in the east, surrounded by luxury and kings who treated him like a monarch. Back in Rome, that image was poison, because Romans hated kings in their national myth. Octavian saw the opening immediately, because Octavian did not fight only with armies. He fought with stories. He presented himself as the defender of Roman tradition, order, and family values. He framed Antony as a man who had abandoned Rome and been captured by the East, and he made Cleopatra the perfect symbol, a foreign queen who could be blamed for everything. This propaganda was not background noise. It was a weapon that prepared Rome to accept a final war. Antony tried to stabilize his position by marrying Octavian's sister, Octavia, a political bridge meant to keep peace. For a moment, it looked like the rivalry might stay controlled, but trust between them never truly existed. Antony returned to Cleopatra, and the bridge burned quietly. Then came the donations of Alexandria, a ceremony that looked like a declaration of a new empire in the East. Antony and Cleopatra distributed titles and territories to their children, and the message sounded royal. To Cleopatra, it was a strategic future plan for her dynasty. To Octavian, it was a gift, because it made Antony look like a traitor to Roman identity. Octavian then played his sharpest card. He obtained Antony's will, or claimed to, and made parts of it public, inflaming Roman outrage. The details mattered less than the feeling, because Rome now believed Antony planned to shift power away from Italy. Octavian did something clever and cynical. He did not declare war on Antony. He declared war on Cleopatra, because Romans would unite faster against a foreign enemy than against a Roman rival. Now the conflict became inevitable, and Cleopatra could not stop it, because her existence was the excuse. Antony and Cleopatra gathered fleets and troops, betting everything on one decisive outcome. The stage was Actium, on the coast of Greece. In 31 BCE, Octavian's commander Agrippa used control of supply lines and harbors to weaken Antony's position before the main clash. Antony's forces suffered from disease, shortages, and wavering allies, because fear pulls people toward the likely winner. When the fleets met, the battle became a test of discipline, coordination, and endurance. Octavian's side fought like a machine, while Antony's side fought like a coalition under strain. Cleopatra's ships were positioned with the treasury, because if they lost, survival would depend on escape. Then came the moment that still sparks debate. Cleopatra's squadron moved out, and Antony followed, and the battle's meaning changed in a heartbeat. Octavian turned that moment into a story of abandonment, claiming Antony chose Cleopatra over Rome. Whether it was planned or panic, the result was the same. Antony's remaining forces collapsed. After Actium, the East began to fall away, one ally at a time, because loyalty is fragile when it is expensive. Antony and Cleopatra retreated to Egypt, hoping to rebuild or negotiate. Octavian advanced with momentum, and momentum is often stronger than swords. In Alexandria, pressure tightened, and even their inner circle began to fracture. Antony received false news that Cleopatra was dead, and despair made him choose suicide. He lived long enough to be brought to Cleopatra, turning their final moments into tragedy rather than legend. Cleopatra tried to negotiate with Octavian, because her mind stayed political to the end. But Octavian wanted a symbol, not a partner, because symbols strengthen a new regime. He planned to take Cleopatra to Rome and display her in a triumph, a living trophy of victory. Cleopatra understood the humiliation waiting for her, and she refused to be used as a prop. So she chose death, ending the Ptolemaic dynasty and ending Egypt's independence. Egypt became Rome's possession, and its wealth helped Octavian become unchallengeable. Octavian returned to Rome and built a new system with an old mask. He would call himself Augustus, claim he restored the Republic, and rule as an emperor in everything but name. This is why the war matters, because it shows how a personal relationship became a strategic weakness. Antony's image, choices, and dependence on Eastern power gave Octavian the propaganda he needed. Cleopatra did not cause Rome's collapse, but she became the excuse that made the final blow easy to sell. In the end, Rome did not choose between love and duty. It chose the man who controlled the story. And out of that victory, the Roman Empire was born, not from romance, but from cold ambition. And if you want more stories like this, like the video and subscribe to History Refuge.